I'm Noreen and welcome to my kitchen, and today we have a revisitation of sorts for you. Today we're going to make red beans and rice, and because my original video for this dish is kind of old and icky looking, we're going to go ahead and remake it. So let's go along and see how I'm going to make red beans and rice today. Right, we're just going to go over the ingredients for the beans, and we're going to cook rice later, and I'm going to just serve you up a bowl of steaming hot red beans and rice because this is just the perfect dish for officially cool weather coming to our area. I am very excited when I walk outside and it feels cold. I love it. It's delicious. Anyway, I had done a beans and rice video several years ago, 4 to be exact, 2011, and it was not in HD, and when YouTube switched over everything to HD, all of my older videos got all distorted and wonky looking, so we're going to try and remake them as we go, and we're going to do this today, red beans and rice. So what I have, we'll just do a little overview, and then we'll just drop everything in the crock pot and let it go. So I have 1 pound of red beans. These are, when you buy them in the store, at least where I live, they're called small red beans. I put these in a pot last night with some cold water to cover, and I let them sit. So these have rested for at least 12 hours because this is just now when I've gotten to them. Now I picked over them, and they're nice and plump, and they feel soft, but they're not cooked all the way. So you soak them for at least 6 to 8 hours, then you drain them, and then you rinse them. You do not want to cook in the soaking liquid because that will just be unpleasant. Soaking them like that also helps to reduce some of the gassiness that you may experience from eating beans or any intestinal distress that may cause you. So the beans are soaked. I have made them from dry in the past, but soaking them makes a big difference. And if I'm already planning, I'll just do it the night before. I have some of the most beautiful ham hocks I have ever experienced in my life. I got these at the commissary. These are smoked ham hocks. Last time I did a video, several people asked me if they were smoked or sweet. I didn't realize that there was a difference, and that you could get ham hocks that were not smoked. I've never ever seen ham hocks that were not smoked. And I live in pork country. So these are smoked ham hocks, and they're just gorgeous. I mean, they look like little baby hams. They're great. What I'm also going to use is, I have 1 large onion that I have diced fairly small. I have about a half a dozen small stalks of celery that I have diced. Now, that's equal to about a cup. And about a cup of shredded carrots, and those are just the matchstick carrots I always have on in my hand in my refrigerator. I'm going to use, I have about a pint of diced tomatoes. I have a pint of diced tomatoes with green chili. I have 4 cups of chicken stock that I had left over and need to use. And I opened up half pint of my pickled jalapeno peppers. I'm probably not going to use all of them, but I am going to use about half along with the pickling liquid because the vinegary brine really does add something nice to the beans. We're also going to add about 6 cloves of garlic chopped. Now this is prepared garlic that I keep in my fridge. You can use whatever you like. And for seasoning, I have about a teaspoon each of dry thyme, dry marjoram, and about a half a dozen very, very small bay leaves because these came off my bay tree. And if you're using larger bay leaves, just throw a couple in there. So this is pretty cut and dry. It's very simple. I'm going to just go ahead and put the ham hocks in the bottom of the crock pot here. Just like that. I'm going to pour the beans on top of that. I'll move this over so you can see it a little better. Then I'll just toss the vegetables over like that. Tomatoes. You just use a 14-ounce can of tomatoes. Now I know a lot of people may not put tomatoes in their beans and rice, but I do. I think it adds a little something something to everything. I like it. What else do I have here? Oh, my chicken stock. Now this may not be enough liquid This is 4 cups. And it's not enough liquid. I am going to have to add some water, which is fine. I'm just going to add my spices. And I'm going to go ahead and add, there's also some garlic cloves in there as well. And I'm going to reserve this, and later on I'm going to give it a taste, and if I find that I need more, then I'll go ahead and I'll add that. Let me just grab some water. And I have filled that jar with water, and I'm just going to add 4 cups of water. Because remember, these beans, they're not done yet, and they're going to soak up water as they cook. So you want to make sure you got plenty of liquid in here. And because I know that my chicken stock that I made, that I also used in my cream of chicken soup, that I know that was really highly seasoned. So we're not going to worry about salting or anything else at this point. You don't want to add any additional salt when you cook beans, because your beans could end up tough and have a very hard outer shell, and they would be very unpleasant to eat. They won't ever get soft. So there's enough salt going on in here with the smoked ham hock and everything else, the chicken stock, that I'm not going to worry about it too much. We'll salt it at the end when everybody is eating, and they can salt their own serving. Now, we're just going to carry this over, put a lid on it. I'm going to put it on high for about 3 hours, and then I'm going to set it down to low, and we're going to cook it on low until we're ready to eat. We don't usually eat our supper until between 6 and 7 o'clock at night. Sometimes later, depending on our schedule.
How busy we are.
Right. So, this is a good meal to make when you don't know when you're going to be eating dinner. Today, we're probably not going to be eating terribly late, but I do want this to cook for at least 6 hours, and then we'll check it and make sure everything's good. So I'm going to pop this in the crock pot, put it on, and we'll be back later, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, there you have it, a beautiful bowl of red beans and rice. This cooked for a very long time, and I'm going to be honest with you, this isn't the same day that we cooked it. This is a couple of days later, and this is the leftover version.
When they're even better.
When they're even better, exactly. My beans were in my food storage, and for those of you who may or may not know, beans do not last forever. You can take every precaution possible to store them properly, but beans really don't have a unlimited shelf life. You really do need to, if you haven't put them with an oxygen absorber, then you really do need to use them inside of a couple of years. Otherwise, the moisture that's contained inside the bean really dries up and takes either forever for your beans to cook, or they never cook and become soft the way that they should. My beans are soft, but they did take a few extra hours to cook, but they're delicious. Those ham hocks, oh my gosh. If you guys have access to a commissary and you are able to get those ham hocks that I got, I gotta tell you, I will never be without them in my freezer. They were absolutely gorgeous, and they're absolutely delicious.
Very meaty.
They're very, very meaty. I did pick the majority of the bones out of the crock pot. I don't like to leave anything over with the bones still in there, but always make sure that you let your family or your guests know that there may be bones, because if you're not familiar with a ham hock, the bones in a ham hock it's a very gnarly part, and they can have little tiny bones in them. But in any case, this is extremely delicious. It's very smoky tasting, and it has just enough heat from the jalapenos and the juice that we put in there, along with the rotel. You can see that the beans are not like that bright spaghetti sauce red anymore. They are a deep, rich color. And that's how you want them to look. And I have my display here set up so that you can clearly see the steamed rice next to the beans. But in all honesty, you're going to go ahead and mix those together to eat them. The day that I'm filming this presentation at the end is on a Monday. And typically, in the old days, Monday would be laundry day, and that would be the day that red beans and rice would be prepared, because that could cook all day long, and Mama didn't have to tend to it, and at the end of the day, she would be done with all her laundry, her family would come home to roost, and she would present this for supper, most likely with biscuits or cornbread. So, I hope that this is a fun little revisitation to red beans and rice. It's a dish that we all should know how to make, regardless of whether we're making it from our food storage or we're just making it because we love it, because in our family, we just love this. So, make yourself a big pot. Today is cold and rainy where I live, so this is the perfect meal for either a quick lunch because it's left over, or a nice warm dinner when everybody comes home that you've cooked all day and you were off doing something else important. So I hope you give this a try. I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. I hope you liked what you watched today, and I hope that you try it, and I hope that you love it. If you like what you saw, please consider hitting the thumbs up button and giving me a positive rating. And also, make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you're already not a subscriber so that you don't miss out on any of the fun we have here in our kitchen every single day. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm really glad that you're here. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to come by tomorrow. Until next time, happy eating!